Hey there, I'm Sarah K. Hoffman, a holistic health coach and chief gutsy of AGUTSYGIRL.com. I went from bloated, gassy, and infertile to living my best life with a strong microbiome and a very full house. On this show, no topic is too stinky to discuss, and everything can be broken down into practical, digestible takeaways. Teacher preacher in the house today, and I am going to share with you my first 4 things on my massive list of 86 different things that I did along my journey to heal my gut, things and tips that I picked up along the way. And I am so ready today to start digging into the full list with you. So come along, let's get going. Okay. First things first, here are numbers 1 through 4 to recap. Number 1, I journaled the right way. Number 2, intermittent fasting. Number 3, meal spacing. And number 4, Sibo Test. Number 1, I journaled in the right way. I already have a video all about this, so I will link to it here. But basically, there is a right way and a wrong way to journal when it comes to your gut healing journey or any kind of healing journey. What I did in the beginning was all wrong. So the way that I did it in the beginning was I was counting fat and calories, and I was going about it as less would be more. And I was not counting chemicals and other ingredients in foods. And I was also not paying attention to the difference between ingredients and ingredients. And what that means is ingredients as one ingredient, like broccoli, like apple, like turkey, or ingredients as in, here is a pre-packaged muffin and there are all these ingredients in it. And so when I would be food journaling and I would write apple, and then right beneath it I would write muffin, and then I would write whatever else, when I would start to have symptoms or things that would pop up, nothing was making sense. Because there were so many ingredients in that muffin. There could have been gluten or eggs or dairy or who knows what. And I could never figure out what was going on. Also, the way that I did it the wrong way was that I only focused on food. Today, and when I healed my gut for good, I focused on everything. And so, of course, this is a plug for my journal, but my journal is the best gut healing journal on the market. I am biased, but I truly believe it because I spent over a decade healing my gut and figuring out this system. And so in the journal, there is a journal key. And this is what I'm talking about with recording everything, not just recording the food that you eat, because it's going to be so much more than that. There's everything from physical, medical, emotional, daily, general things. There's a personal key. There's ways to color code things. There's everything so that you can personalize it exactly and specifically for you. And this is so important for your healing journey and something that was critical and crucial for my own journey, and also why it's number 1. All right. Number 2, intermittent fasting. Again, I've already done an entire video all about intermittent fasting and meal spacing. So I'm going to combine these two right now, but I've talked about the differences between intermittent fasting and meal spacing, and I've just discussed them as a whole in a previous video. So go back, check that out. But I am telling you, and again, it's very intentional that these were at the beginning of my list. I didn't practice intermittent fasting and meal spacing until later in my journey. And I look back and I can say that that's probably okay because I was so disordered and so wrong in how I was approaching the journey towards health and healing. But when I also look back, I think, had I done things very differently and incorporated the intermittent fasting and the meal spacing, I probably could have healed at a far faster rate. So Intermittent fasting helps just because it gave, and it will give you that time overnight for your body to just rest and digest. And then meal spacing is so important because it will give your body the time to rest and digest in between meals during the day. Now, if you go back and watch that video, I explain all about the MMC, which stands for the Migrating Motor Complex. And that is something that is critical for anyone who has digestive issues, that you really allow that mechanism to do its job and to sweep through and to clean through your system in order for things to move and to peristalsis to happen as it should. And so the combination of intermittent fasting and meal spacing, I swear by to this day. I practice both every single day. And again, there's a right way and a wrong way to do them. Like you have to make sure that if you're not eating as frequently, you're still eating enough. You're getting enough calories, you're getting enough nutrient-dense foods, you're getting the foods that are nourishing your body and helping your healing journey. But if you do that and you practice just letting your digestive system do its job, process your food, you could find massive benefits in a very short amount of time. And number 4, which is our last one for today's mini course, is the Sibo Test. So it took me until 2014 to do the Sibo breath test, even though when I look back, my freshman year of college, which would have been in about 2001, 2002, is when I think my Sibo truly was started, or the overgrowth began. And it took until 2014 for me to do that Sibo test. And I believe that a lot of that is because I didn't know any better, and I never had the right practitioners help me to see that I needed to take the breath test. And so taking that breath test was life-changing for me. Now, granted, it took me from 2014 to 2018 to heal my Sibo because I kept relapsing for many different reasons that I will be describing throughout this series. But had I never gotten that diagnosis, I definitely would not be where I'm at today. And I have written in detail about how to do this Sibo breath test, where to get it. You can even get it online these days, which I think is perfectly fine. You just, after the results come back, you will need someone to help you review them and to decide what the next steps look like for you. The Sibo breath test is super easy. It's non-invasive. There is a period before you take the Sibo breath test that's not overly fun. You have to do like a pretty strict and rigid diet, but it's only for about a day or two, and then it's done. And then you know what actions you might need to take next. The final thing I want to say about the Sibo breath test is that it is very, very, very common. If you have been diagnosed with IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, many times Sibo is underlying. And so for as long as you continue to just think that it's only IBS and you don't get that Sibo diagnosis, you will continue to feel miserable. And so I strongly urge you, if you do have that IBS diagnosis, to just inquire, ask your doctor, keep notes in your journal, keep all of the notes about your symptoms and what's going on, and ask them the questions and see if they will give you the Sibo breath test, because it can truly be life-changing. So those are the first 4, and I will see you next time for the next 4. Hope you have a great day.